Onlyfans women are not women. They're not. They're machine
Listen,
women
Andrew
hybrids.
Tate.
Right?
Because you're, in a way, they've been, like, their value has been put on what they need to put out and what they have to provide.
Well, it's more than that. They've been commoditized. Okay, so one of the hallmarks of a disintegrating society is the commoditization of female sexuality. You see that there's an image in Revelation of the end of days. And the Revelation image is the scarlet beast of the apocalypse, which is a multi-headed figure that represents the degenerate patriarchal state. It's multi-headed because it doesn't know which way is up, right? It's postmodern. And so it's going every which way at once. And it's scarlet because that's the color of blood. So that's the degenerate patriarchy. Okay, on the back of the scarlet beast is the whore of Babylon. Why? Well, because when men disintegrate, so do women. While men disintegrate into a hydra-like mess of competing conceptual claims, that's the degenerate patriarchy with no uniting ethos. That's the death of God and the descent into postmodernism. Feminine degeneracy makes itself manifest as the commoditization of sexuality. Right, because there's no social forms to encapsulate sexuality and to orient it upward, right? So it wanders off on its own, you might say, and attempts to dominate. That's the whore of Babylon figure, right? So she's a very attractive, naked woman with a gold chalice full of despicable offerings. In the Revelation story, the beast kills the whore. So the degenerate state offers pleasures of the flesh and then destroys sexuality itself. And that's already happening because the birth rate's plummeted, the marriage rate is plummeted. In countries especially like Japan and South Korea, although it's starting to happen here, men and women are dividing politically, they're alienated from one another, they don't form long-term relationships.
Men, we must stop with this. OnlyFans shit. It's degrading us and ruining our young daughters and sisters. Guess who owns OnlyFans? Seriously, it's been created to devalue us. You corrupt our women, you corrupt us men.
So,
I'm actually
and I was
about...
saying, sorry, just one more thing. The point I was making about the OnlyFans women is they're not, the reason I said they're not women is because no woman can be in 1 million bedrooms at once. That's not a woman, right? That's a machine woman hybrid. And we have no idea what a monster like that, is.
What they can do, right? Absolutely.
Well, we have some sense of what it can do, right? Because we've seen
that's such a deep
Bonnie
thought.
Blue, for example.
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
who's planning, I believe, to sleep with 1,000 men.
Right.
Her
I think she
mother is
did,
her
right?
business manager.
Right.
Yes, there's a fun story.
Yeah, a lot of these, I've seen some of these stories where a lot of these OnlyFans women who, are having these goals. I'm sleeping with 500 men in one night or 1,000. Their parents are on board and they're supportive and they're actively a part of their career, which I think is really heartbreaking. I don't know how you could...
It's an abomination.
It is. It's literally an abomination.
It's an abomination.
Right. When the abomination of desolation is put in the highest place, it's time to head for the hills. And what that means is that when the worst of all possible things is elevated to the highest possible place, you know that destruction is coming.
Absolutely.
Right?
Every
apart.
time a country starts messing around with that, the fall comes next. Every time.
Well, that's
terrifying.
I think of pride flags in the church as an indication of that, precisely.
Think this is happening all over the world right now. It's not just any one country.
Oh yeah, that's just
pride is the cardinal Christian sin. If you go to Great Britain, to the Anglican churches, which have deteriorated substantially, like the Protestant churches in Canada, the pride regalia is much more pronounced than the Christian regalia.
But also look at their country, it reflects that.
Yes,
it
that's
reflects
for sure.
that. Their people reflects that. Their communication, their economy. There's a reason why everybody's trying to destroy America is because we're still the ones that's standing, at least waving the fact that Christ is king. And so I believe that the reason that this country is blessed is because we're focusing on the fundamentals to build a country up. Like it or not, believe in Christ, don't believe in Christ, it's still a historical book. The ones who act in accordance of this man named Yeshua, they build up a land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
The ones who go against it and have pride.
Destruction. It's the same thing applies with the worshipers of the golden calf in the Exodus story, right? They basically are materialists. They dance around naked. They are drunken. It's just one big party as
It's
soon as
EDC.
Moses leaves. And so they're slated for destruction because a society can't exist on that basis.
So, in your mind, how much further do you think we're going to go in the way that, you know, our society is being very sexually immoral, and we're speaking of, you know, the OnlyFans and Bonnie Blues, you know, it's shocking, right? Because I feel like when time goes on, we become less and less sensitive to things. So things need to be more and more shocking, right? Like we become.
There's no doubt about that.
There is a scene in the movie Time Machine that really captures this. As the character travels more into the future, he looks across to a clothing shop window, and it shows you how our clothing has changed. Of course I am against the Muslim ninja suit. I think it's called the burqa, but I do have some Muslim friends, and I kinda understand the point they're trying to make. Hear me out, you may not necessarily think about your wife this way. But like me, if you have got a young daughter, then yes, there are good men in this world, but there's also people like Jeffrey Epstein as well. Would you want guys like Jeffrey Epstein looking at your kid?
Yeah, well,
right.
because voyeurs play on the edge.
What?
Right. Well,
What was the word?
A voyeur.
What is that?
Someone who's
Traveler?
in this.
Oh, a voyeur.
Voyeur.
Oh, a traveler.
Sexually adventurous, let's say.
Got
a
it.
voyeur, someone who's in it for the game.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Not.
they want to know.
We're thinking of Voyager.
Oh yeah, Voyager. Like,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
sorry.
They want a novelty kick. You see this with the development of serial killers often. You know, they start with relatively small transgressions, torturing animals.
Cats
but then
and
that
stuff,
becomes passé, and they
Used to
need
it.
they need a new thrill. Well, the thrill's on the novel edge. So yeah, things on the immoral side have a pronounced proclivity to go from bad to worse. Well, how bad can they get? Well, I don't know, sterilization and mutilation of children. That's getting pretty far out there.
Right.
Is it as far as it can go? No. I mean, people are capable of unimaginable horrors. And so I guess we'll see. Right. You know, there are things that are happening now that are relatively normative that would have been unthinkable 10 years ago. The Bonnie Blue phenomena is a good example of that.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe. God bless you.